Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. Today I want to talk about some of the opening night NBA things that happened. It's not necessarily going to be recaps of the game or team specific today, though I am a Thunder fan and I probably will have more Thunder content than anything else, and I'll probably focus on those games and things that happen. I don't think that I'm going to be putting out videos after every day of games or every week of games. I don't know how often NBA content is going to come. It's not going to be prioritized necessarily. It's just something I like talking about the NBA, and I know something about the NBA. But I think it's more like just generic impressions from different players or how teams are doing or how I think the season is going, rather than holding myself to like a content requirement like I have been with the Lost episodes or my other TV episode things that I've been doing. Like, there's probably more of that content coming. There's probably will be more NBA content, but it's going to somewhat depend on the number of viewers I get. And like right now, projector content still is the best stuff for me. But it's hard to just produce projector content constantly when there isn't much more than just playing a game or showing a trailer. Like I don't want to show full videos or anything because that's piracy and I don't really support that. Anyway, going back to the NBA, we had the opening night of the NBA yesterday, and the first game was 76ers and Celtics. Both teams were top teams in the East last year, and they will be this year. The Celtics now have Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward back, who were injured a lot last year, and they still were able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals without them. They are a very strong team, and Jason Tatum was the high-scoring person for Boston with 23 points, and I think he is looking like a star. Like, at least, like, an all-star level player, maybe even more than that, considering that like the team has like other good players on it. Like they have a very balanced roster. They have one of the best defenses in the league, probably the best defense. So I do think like a healthy Thunder team could definitely compete for that spot. They have enough offensive firepower to beat anybody, because obviously the 76ers are no slouches with Embiid and Simmons and the rest of their players. Now, they did take a little bit of step back on their roster because they had cleared cap space with like Marco Bellinelli and some other players that they had tried to get LeBron or Paul George or some other big star to come in, and then none of that worked out. So they just ended up with not replacing with anybody. Like Markelle Fultz, supposed to be their third big scorer, and they moved JJ Redick to the bench. And Fultz did not perform very well. I don't think he looked very good. Like, not only did he not make his shots, I don't think just his body language wasn't very good. So I think in like the long run, if he continues to play like this, after a week or two, Redick will go back to starting and Fultz will start coming off the bench as the third scorer. Kind of like what like the Thunder did with Harden back in the day. That's just how I feel like it's going to end up occurring, because he seemed to struggle too much against starters. So that game, the Celtics won easily by 18 points, and they were ahead most of the second half by a large margin. So I do think they're going to have a fairly easy time if they can dismantle one of the top four teams in the East like that. They should be the best team in the East. Maybe Toronto is arguably going to be really good too, but we'll have to see how Kawhi fits in there, and I'll probably do some analysis of that if I end up watching the game on Friday that's nationally broadcast. Okay, so the second game of the night was the one that I was more interested in, being a Thunder fan, which is Thunder at Warriors for the opener. Now, the downside to this is that Andre Robertson and Russell Westbrook were both out, and Adams was a game-time decision and did end up playing, but we didn't really know, and we're missing two of our main starters. Robertson gets a lot of mixed reviews. Either you love him or you hate him. I think he's one of the best defenders in the league, but his offense is such a problem. If we could upgrade to somebody like Jimmy Butler or something, it'd be awesome. But I don't see a way that trade would actually realistically happen. But he is important to the defense. He helps a lot and is able to help cover for other people whenever there is another issue with, like, somebody gets by their man. He's the garbage man. Him and Adams allow for other players to take risks and to make mistakes on defense and for it to still get picked up and still get covered. So missing him is a lot, especially against a team like the Warriors where you have all these weapons, like their whole offense can basically score. And so, I mean, obviously their whole offense can obviously score, but like they have multiple big name scorers and their top 4 players could all put up 20, 30 points a game. And so you need to be able to guard them at every position straight up without double team or helping as little as possible, otherwise they'll just pick you apart. And then Westbrook obviously is the heart of the Thunder. He's fiery. He's the main scorer. He's the ball handler. Now, we did get to see some interesting stuff here. We got to see new players such as Schroeder and Diallo come in and get decent minutes. And it seems like Abrines has continued his good defensive pickups. He made some great defensive plays. And it doesn't look like Terrence Ferguson really improved significantly. Like, his defense was okay, but he totally disappeared on offense, and he isn't the defender that Robertson is to make it worthwhile to keep him in if he can't score. We might as well just play Diallo or play Abrines up front. Diallo looks great for a rookie, considering this is his first game and he was a second-round pick, and he can score. He was confident. It was a very overall good game for him, and I think he'll continue to improve. So, hopefully by Friday, Westbrook is back from his knee surgery, and then we can just start pushing forward in the season with more scoring. And obviously, we're not going to play the Warriors every night, so it should be a lot easier to beat a lot of these teams. Like, we looked good enough. Like, Paul George struggled in the first half a little bit, but by the second half, he played a lot better, and Schroeder looked good and was able to score and was able to get assists. It'll be interesting to see him and Westbrook out there at the same time. I think it'll be a little bit weak defensively, but the offensive punch should be very strong, and we should be able to get Westbrook off the ball more, moving around, and just totally just shred defenses, and then keep everything together on our defensive end, and should be able to probably win a large number of games if we play like we did last night, and we reintegrate Westbrook, and then eventually reintegrate Robertson. So, the Thunder did lose the game, but they only lost by 8 points to the Warriors in California on opening night where they had the ring ceremony and the Warriors were hyped up. So, the Warriors' defense, though, did look good. They have new centers playing, and those centers seem to really patrol the paint really well and didn't allow a lot of inside scoring. The Thunder missed lots of easy layups and putbacks, and they got blocked a whole bunch of times. So I think the Warriors are these world beaters that they have been, and it'll only get harder, tougher for the rest of the league once Cousins comes back, if he's able to integrate and not just become too ball dominant and not get the ball to everybody else. So that will be interesting, but I do think the Warriors looked really good, and the Thunder also looked really good, and the Thunder next play against the Clippers, who will, I think they're still in a building phase. They'll probably be a borderline playoff team, probably like 8th or 9th place, something like that. So we can't just sleep on them, but they should be a lot easier than the Warriors were. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.